And you're not muted, by the way, so just so you know, and we
Yeah, I
just went
am.
live.
You just don't know it.
Alrighty then.
Mute button on the board, baby. Mute button on the board.
Yeah, but you're still coming. I won't try to explain the obvious. All right, just killing some time to because I don't have an intro yet still, and to allow if anybody shows up to show up. Going to be a short one this week or this month, uh, because the subject matter expert on this topic is working late. So it's going to be myself and our good friend Sam, who's getting his, some stuff taken care of
Hi,
with the camera.
peoples. See, I told you I was
You'll
muted.
be. You're not muted.
Not now.
You weren't before.
I was too.
No, you weren't. You're
On
coming through
the whole time.
the whole time. That's why I
No.
was laughing. But that's all right. Uh so Chris is joining us. Hey Chris, how's it going?
What's going on, Chris?
Don't know. Yeah, Tariq's in the house. Good to see you, sir.
Oh, hi.
And here, I'll just show you a good screenshot of what the GhostNet is all about. So that's the topic for tonight is a open net on HF called the GhostNet. It was started by S2 Underground YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out, please do. It's an interesting channel. Ran by a guy who keeps anonymous uh, for like the last year and a half to 2 years, maybe longer. He's been doing a lot of open source intelligence news gathering, to put it simply. And typically, he has a daily update wire where he uh, gives some pretty good information on world events and stuff going around the U.S. A lot of stuff that isn't very covered very well with the legacy media. And he does it pretty by the books. Keeps his biases to a minimum, just stating the facts. That's pretty good. Uh, and also, he's done quite a bit of kind of like tradecraft videos, I would say. Some of it's ham radio related, some of it's ham radio adjacent. But one of the things that he does ham radio wise is this GhostNet. Like I said, I'll go through the format here in a minute, but here's a screenshot from one of his uh, recent wire videos. But it's a net that's on a set time schedule. I think it's Thursday nights. I think seven or 8 o'clock Central Time. Uh, and it's uses JS8 call. Uh, one of my in the big three digital modes, in my opinion, as far as emergency communications can go, right? Where I got distracted there. Uh, APRS, JS8 call, and WinLink are, in my opinion, your big three, most bang for your buck digital modes for emergency communications. I can't rank them one, two, and three because they're both very strong in different areas. But far as general HF communications, radio to radio, uh, and VHF, UHF for that matter, JS8 call is hard to beat. It's very similar format as FT8, only you can use basically short message text messages. Uh, Nice because it can be asynchronous communications, as in you can see messages that are left for you when you're not at your station. So especially in an emergency or preparedness situation. You may be doing other tasks at the time and not just constantly at your radio, so you can be doing whatever you have to be doing and come by and see messages that are left behind. So it uses the JS8 format, and with that, you can see on some of the examples they have the at symbol GhostNet, one word, and that's kind of like a group chat thing, a filter that you can set up. So uh, going onto this frequent, and it's not using the standard JS8 call frequency. It's not using a different frequency that's in the band plan for digital modes. So there's a lot less clutter as well. So it's a time net. You get on basically exchanging text messages in a group, and it's the premise of this is to relay just basic information. The net's a net, saying whatever, but in an emergency situation, you can be relaying whatever stuff you need to relay, news and events, situation status updates. You know, you think locally, you can say the power is out in this area, the bridge is out on this street, that type of thing, and communicate on things that you're not getting in other normal ways, just your MCOMs type stuff. So, with that, if you go, and I got links in the description below, I do believe, but you can download the manual that S2 Underground has set up for the GhostNet. It's off a GitHub page, and it is just packed with information. Most of this is set up in a format where it's basically you can hand out to somebody who has a minimal amount of radio skills, and you give them this thing, and it goes right through, uh, instructions on how to print this thing out and set it up. It has some nice features in it that everybody should be having in some type of a preparedness plan. Uh, like setting up your home basic plan for your immediate family or roommates or whatever you have, far as having rally points and all kinds of stuff like that, contacts, uh, basically your action plan for emergency situations, trusted contacts, that kind of stuff like that. So this is all general good stuff to have in a emergency plan. And then it goes through with an overview of what exactly the GhostNet is. Uh, the part that we're covering mostly here tonight is the weekly JS8 call nets on 40 meters, uh, and all kinds of concepts. So I would, if this has any interest to you, I would highly suggest downloading this. Uh, for the average ham, it's a lot of information you already know, but it has a lot of good pointers, not only in working this ghost net, but setting something up like this similar for your own needs. That's kind of what we want to cover tonight, how you can take this uh, concept and work it for your own groups, both locally and regionally. And a lot of these concepts you don't have to use on JS8. You can use regular voice comms or not even ham radio at all. You can do this on Meshtastic, GMRS radio, or Signal. Whatever modes of communication you want to do, you can do this with that. So there's I'm not even going to go through all this stuff. Definitely download it if this has any interest to you and check it out. Uh, this is a feature that I think is pretty interesting. It could be used well, but this would take a lot of practice for a lot of people. It is data bridges. Basically, setting up a window of time and using 20 meters, more of a DX frequency, to do the similar net type thing, but targeting DX basically. So uh, using your basic propagation patterns, he's gone through and found the best or the more ideal times for communications between North America and Europe, Europe and Australia, Australia, South Pacific, and North America and Australia, basically following the gray line, more or less. Uh, you get the point. And then here is a nice schedule that breaks everything down. Um, and more details on the net. Uh, Here's another thing that I thought was pretty interesting. Uh, and it's kind of a built-in pace plan, right? Your primary, alternative, contingency, emergency. Uh, Things you could have, it's basically we start off with the primary where there's a time slot uh, for GS8 call. Uh, Ideally using an NVIS antenna and using the frequency of 7.0, excuse me, 7.107 megahertz. Uh, and you can see in here uh, some of the call signs that you want to address at GhostNet for general group tagging for the routine messages. And then you can get more specific items, such as having a country and state code. So you can have more of a regional filter for, say, state of Nebraska or Alabama or wherever you are. So that's in your basic first time slot of this net. Again, using the pace method. If you miss that or you can't get the communications through, then they have your alternative window of time, and that's when you're going to try to use WinLink peer-to-peer. And then there's another window of time to use Ready. So there's multiple, during this met, there's multiple windows using different methods. So that gives you a little versatility. Say you're not set up for GS8 call, you can only receive messages or something, but you can send them on Ready. You can participate then. So it's kind of an interesting concept and a good concept that could be applied to again food for thought for any of your other nets. And then here's the data bridge thing. Set time on 20 meters. So this format has quite a bit of redundancy baked into it, which I think is pretty interesting. Uh, First, you're using a digital mode, which is a little more reliable than voice, as we know. As we lean into the bottom of the solar cycle, that's where people tend to do more FT8 and such digital modes that are a little more advantageous for the poor band conditions. With it being JS8 call, that makes your communications asynchronous. So that adds a little bit of a benefit too. And then having a redundancy of different times with different modes, it kind of just makes things kind of useful. So then here, in this manual again is the setting up the same times and everything, and for having that net in Europe and Australia as well. And then it goes into some best practices, which I thought were fantastic. Uh, and some advice on dealing with the things that typical hams have to deal with if you're going to try to have a net or do things. Again, S2 set this thing up as a good, not only a band plan in a folder, but a good manual with some good best practices and reference material. And it goes into, obviously you can with the name S2 Underground. S2 is intelligence groups in the U.S. Army. There's a lot of military reference in here, which I find is very useful, far as emissions control, taken right out of the U.S. Marine Corps handbook on ideal times of when and when not to use your radio and how to use it. So, you got the MCOM level 1, which is radio routine, 2, essential radio, 3, radio silence, 4, blackout. And that's, uh, more details if you want to go through this. Again, I find this manual very useful, so it's pretty cool. And some good techniques and reminders, guidelines, etc., for keeping your comms as private as you can on open frequencies. So, what do you think of all this? I know I'm just blowing out a bunch of facts and data here, Sam.
It's interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, and a lot of this is kind of redundant information. One thing I would do is well, I would personally form this in a little bit easier to read text and maybe just black and white so it prints out a little easier.
Are you saying
Um,
dumb it down for the people?
well, for me, it seems to be just a little bit unorganized.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's interesting because obviously the guy S2 that put this together, he knows a
Mm-hmm.
thing or two about a thing or two. And he has a good military background. He's very organized, and you know, uh, like some of the stuff that I really like is the personal information that you could put in right away, like this. The first pages are what should I think should be the first pages right here. Your basic home plan of family contacts, rally points. If there's a fire, we do this. If it's this, we do this. People's phone numbers, addresses, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Trusted contacts, fantastic idea. Um, but then I would skip right to the band plan and the cheater notes for the area,
Yeah.
and that would be like the first section, right?
Mm-hmm.
First section, you open this thing up, you have all your contact information, blah blah blah, the band plan, and then behind that would be the appendix of this is why you do it. This is all you know all your your best practices. Yep, that'd be right after your band plan. That'd be a good reminder. Uh, some of this reference data on emissions control, that would be great stuff here, reducing information. So your personal contact information, the band plan, uh, best uses, this reference data, great stuff. And then all this, so this is why we do it, and troubleshooting, that would follow afterwards, in my opinion. That's the way I would do it. But hey, this isn't mine. Overall, in reality, we're nitpicking, right, on how this manual should be put out,
Right.
which isn't really the point of this. The point is, I just really like this concept and wanted to discuss it and just give it people some ideas. Uh, Obviously, you don't have to participate in this net. You don't have to download this manual, but paying a little attention to it and reading through this and just getting that concept down could be very useful. Uh, you know, it, this is one thing that I thought would be great too is whether on these mesh platforms or it's Meshtastic or MeshCore,
Mm-hmm.
setting up a room or something for your local area that, hey, every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, we're going to hop on and have a Meshtastic net or a Meshcore net and use it in this format. I think would be a pretty cool idea.
Oh, I agree.
And I mean, there's just tons and tons of information inside this thing. A lot of it is we could spend hours and hours picking through this. So I would highly recommend. And here, these recommended HF gear and stuff like that. Uh, See here, there's even some advice on how to deal with gatekeeping. It's really well put out. It's just drinking from the water hose or drinking from the garden hose. No, third time's a try.
Yeah.
Drinking from the fire hose. There we go. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad you're keeping up with me because I'm just rambling on. As usual, I had intentions of going through this and putting together a slide deck and some show notes and all that stuff, but next thing you know, it's the day of the live stream. I've done nothing, so I'm winging it.
Just be glad that Shane actually went live today.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since we remembered to do the live stream, isn't it?
No. Us, our circle, we have remembered. You, sir.
Yes. But in all fairness, the times I did remember, I was just plain too busy. So
Yeah, understandable.
we're you know we're a work in progress. Here's a great page here, uh, talking about ways to power your radio. Uh, pros and cons between traditional batteries, commercial option. Like here, he looks like he's got it looks like an equal flow river power station. So yeah, you know it, Chris. So there's lots of good information in this thing, just in general, in a place to put notes. So I thought it's pretty interesting. Um, Again, the actual net is on Thursdays. Not tomorrow, but maybe next week or some other time. And maybe we'll do that on the Shacking Off channel if Norm and Greg are around.
Let's just do it on yours to be safe.
We'll figure it out. But some Thursday in the very near future, we'll just probably bring up the the GhostNet on JS8, and just kind of Mystery Science Theater 3000 it and just have it running on the screen here, and we can look at it. Because ideally that's what I should be doing, because me trying to explain it is not very good. But uh, again, download this PDF for this manual. Just tons and tons of information in it.
You gonna post a link or?
I think I have it in the show notes. If not, I
Okay.
will.
Okay.
Um. Oh, let me go to the almighty Google internets. And again, this is where that little thing called show prep would have been handy, because I should have that already handy, you would think. But there you go for anyone in the chat. The github.com has a link where you can download the PDF so you can play along. So what I did is I made my own Cliff Notes version of the GhostNet. Like I said, there's a lot of information in there. A lot of it you'll use all the time, some of it not so much. So what I did is I got this little 6-ring write in a ring style binder that I put a
Mhm.
lot of my field notes in. So I made, as you can see, these little templates, uh, just the cheat sheets of what the GhostNet is for myself. Some of the settings and everything, best practices, all that kind of stuff. And here I got the times and everything set up, uh, group names and everything to be monitoring. Uh, and then I got a page where it sits, prints out on just your normal A size 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper where you can have this in your ham shack with all the pertinent information at a glance. So if anyone is interested in that, there should be a link to that as well. If not, I can send that. Yeah, Chris, you probably do.
That might
uh,
help.
it will help to print things out. I've gone a long time without a printer around here either because I really don't print as much as I used to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just I knew this would be a quick one. Uh, GhostNet concept in a nutshell. Uh, it's a shame Norm can't make it because he would have a lot more to talk about. And if Greg was here, he'd make things fun because Greg is fun. But
I'm
yeah,
just
let's plan on doing that in another week or so.
yeah.
Let's do a ad hoc Thursday night live stream where we'll just sit and watch the GhostNet go. That could be the name of the stream. Watch the GhostNet go.
Yeah.
And then a lot of this stuff will make a heck of a lot more sense. So what do you think there, Sammy boy? Does this concept kind of make sense to you?
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Do you do anything with JS8 call?
No.
All right. I've dabbled with it a little bit, so that'll probably be worthwhile doing a live demo of that.
I'd love to watch that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's the format's similar to JS8 call. Yeah, software that's pretty similar that runs it. You hear the same modem type noises, but instead of like the four canned messages that pop through and that you can see on your screen, you get short text. It's like it's basically uh JS JS8 call is basically FDA crosses with Twitter. Think of it that way.
Ah.
So there. That give you any other ideas, Sam, of what you do a bit more on the 2 meter side and a little GMRS type stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, does that? I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really see how that would be too much different than your normal 2 meter net. Um,
No.
I think that the cool stuff with using those the at symbols and making the group filters on
Mhm.
JS8 call, you can set up, like you can set one up for GhostNet for Southern Alabama or York
Mhm.
County or Alabama and have all that stuff locally
Yeah.
and not necessarily at the same time. You can just set up your own regional GhostNet with that same style of redundancy format where, all right, we're going to test, starting at 7 o'clock till 7:20 is going to be JS8 call, and then it's going to be, you know, ready or whatever digital format that, of the 20 other ones that are out there.
Now we do have a ready net or a digital net here on Thursdays
Mm-hmm.
on HF, but uh other than that, that's about it.
Yeah. But it makes sense having that, that ready net just to expand it where you can do, JS8 call or Hellschreimer or some of the other funky ones. Um, Even if it's the same 5 or 6 guys, uh, of those 5 and 6 guys, there might be one or two that's never tried something else, and you introduce them to something, or they don't have the main one and they can still participate in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be. And there's not many Mishtastic nodes around here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think oh, I looked on the map. There's 3 in Prattville, but uh, to my west. But other than that, and there's probably I think one in Montgomery, but I I don't think they're doing much with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Meshtastic's pretty much dead in my area as well. So, but yeah. All right. Yeah. It
Well,
figures Norm, the guy that could keep this conversation going, can't make it. So,
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not much of a expert on it. I'm learning. I told you I was going to just sit back and learn because
yeah. Yep.
I don't.
Oh no, no, it's all good because, like I said, I really don't have much to talk about. I can just go through the basics, and uh, Norm's kind of the subject matter expert. But I think when we do a Thursday standoff live stream, when we have the actual net going, I think that will really get the conversation going. So this is
Yes, it
kind of like the
will.
primer for it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
we'll work it out.
Yep.
Uh, I'll confirm when the what we should do is probably start the live stream like a good 15-20 minutes before the net starts. And then we can
100%.
basically, in a more organized way, have the discussion we had now and give people a heads up on what's going on. And
Mm-hmm.
then there you go. We'll watch the net. So this is kind of like a dress rehearsal, Sam.
Yeah.
We're just practicing with our 3 closest friends who are watching. We're putting up with this nonsense.
We drove one off. There was 4. What the heck?
Oh, I that's 4 more than we deserve. So thank you guys for hanging out with
We
us while we
appreciate each and every one of you guys watching.
while we ramble on about nothing and no planning. Maybe we'll even get a little organized one of these days. So
We've been saying that for a year.
yeah, but in that year we've only done what maybe 6 or 7 of these streams, so it's not that bad.
No.
we'll
No.
figure we'll figure it out someday, or just still have fun while we do it. So
And the Millers aren't here taking it over either, so
I know that's the thing. It's really their stream.
yeah.
It's on my channel, but they're the ones that do it.
Yeah.
So all right, should we just pull the pin?
Let's pull it and throw the
All
grenade.
right. Sorry, folks. We're not very good without the people that know what we're going on for the topic.
Hey, we're doing
Well,
pretty good for 34 minutes, so
yeah.
uh
Hey, we can wing it.
yeah.
73 all.
7-3.